Hello and welcome to Fame in 15. This is John Inkowski filling in for whoever. And with me today I have local artist Jason Unschreiner, also known as Woodburning Cat.
Also known as DJ Deathray 3000, but I don't go by that name anymore since I'm off the radio.
Okay. Okay, we should explain that you are only half of Woodburning Cat. It's you and your backup band.
Why am I holding the mic?
Because you took it from me.
You gave it to me. Okay, but anyway, my band. This is my backup band. It's a CD. If you can't tell, if anybody watching the show is stupid, this is a CD. It's a CDR actually. But regardless, this is my band. The reason that I have a band of this nature is because I have been in a variety of real bands in the traditional sense. I was in a band called Lo-Five, I was in a band called Penny for Lucy, and I was in an awesome band called This Car Climb Mount Washington, and I'm in a mediocre band right now with my friend Tony Battetti. While I always enjoyed being in bands, I found that the aspect of being in a band where I had to work with other human beings was usually very disappointing to me, in that I just don't tend to like people. So I decided to start a band like this where I would be essentially the only member, and so far I've been happy with it. People have pretended to enjoy it, and it's been treating me quite well.
Disintegrate the moon. Disperse the debris as necessary until we have rings around the earth. We need rings around the earth. If that can't be done, I'll propose another plan. Send a bigger rocket down from the moon. Disintegrate the earth, we'll disintegrate the earth. What's the point of life unless it rings around the earth? That was a song about blowing up the moon to create rings around the earth.
The great thing about the movie Doom was that I'm talking. The movie Doom. See, I watched it when I was home. My dad was watching it, and I thought he was just watching some, crappy in-house movie that, Sci-Fi Channel made. But I noticed two things: more vulgarity and very expensive special effects. Then I noticed The Rock, and then I knew I was watching a really awesome movie.
Okay, now I know we don't have an audience here, but having seen you live, I notice you usually insult your audience and make fun of them in between songs. Is there a reason for that?
It all goes back to my contempt for humanity, more or less. The thing is, there's a lot of things that audiences do that annoy me, like, yelling Freebird or, just being general idiots. So, and if I'm at a show and I see, somebody on stage, yell at somebody in the audience, I always think, that is awesome. I have this one Jawbreaker bootleg where people are requesting songs, and he's like, yes, we know the names of our songs, and I thought that was great. So, that's where I like to come from. And I figure, you either like it or you hate it, and if you hate it, I don't want you as a fan anyway, because, that's not what I'm going for, really. I mean, I'd rather have, a few people respect me for what I do than a bunch of, drunks at Soma 36 thinking I'm awesome because I put up with their crap.
On the short right back, you fell asleep and watched you from the driver's seat. I go back as your eyes close, so I turned down the stereo and I wonder, what could you possibly be thinking of? And I know that it's the same thing that I'm thinking of, but what kind of spin could you put on such a thing? Keep yourself from going crazy in such awful situations, and I don't think that you're wrong, but I guess sometimes if there is a right way, and I admire you can even sleep at all. Short drive back, you fell asleep and I watched you from the driver's seat. Your head rolled back and your eyes closed, so I turned down the stereo.
Okay, quickly in 3 steps, name your dinosaur survival plan if they were to come back from the grave.
If dinosaurs were to come back from the grave,
Zombie dinosaurs.
zombie dinosaurs were to come back from the grave, I would first off, I don't know, I haven't got a plan, but if dinosaurs were to come back from the grave, I would say that we are all in a lot of trouble.
I rode my 10-speed bike today. Eastbound, looped around, the sun was going down. Down Main towards College Ave. Looped around the campus roads, past the bank and headed home. I wore my pink t-shirt, my bitchin' pink t-shirt. My of Montreal pink t-shirt, oh yeah. I rode my 10-speed bike today. Got the hill towards the Sicko, not very much further to go. I guess that I look gay, wearing my pink t-shirt, my very, very pink t-shirt. 'Cause when I pass the Sicko, some girl rolled down her window. And as I passed her car, here's what she said. She called me a fag. 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 I've never been quite so sad as when I realized tonight that she would never be my friend. And those guys in the backseat with their ICP CD collections, they probably won't loan them to me. She called me a fag. That was about a time when I got yelled at by a closed-minded fat girl in a car.
I see you have a very interesting mic setup for your amp.
Yeah, I use that at every show. I don't know what I'd be doing without those guys. They are honorary members of Wood Burning Cat. They actually play all the backing tracks that you hear on the CD. I believe one is named Rockham and one is named Sockham or something like that. I would just like to go on record saying that I hate Zach Braff. If you've ever seen Garden State, he was the guy who assembled that steaming pile of crap, and I'm never gonna forgive him for it.
Okay, have you seen the show Scrubs?
He was good in that, but you know, Hitler was an all right artist. So
He was also funny on one episode of Arrested Development, and
He
Hitler was terrible on Arrested Development.
it is true. Zach Braff is technically better than Hitler.
This is a cover song. Dance, everyone, dance! I got it in the mail one morning. There was no return address. Just my name in gold leaf on the front. There was no time or location. There was really no info at all. No date, no place, no time, no RSVP. But it said you are invited by anyone to do anything. You are invited for all time. I didn't think much about it. It seemed like a really dumb joke. But later that week, it was Friday once again. So I took it down to a disco that wouldn't have me in a million years. I flashed it once and I was inside with a drink. I really didn't stay too long there, 'cause no one was having much fun. I made my way to a party all the way across town, thrown by the friend of an ex thing. I wasn't sure if I should go, but when I got up in the place, there was smiles all up and down. I grabbed my ex in the kitchen. I told her I was sorry I came, but she looked at me with a glazed smile and said, you are invited by anyone to do anything. You are invited for all time. You are so needed. If you want to do anything, you are invited for all time. Headed for home kinda early. The party wasn't all that great. Saw my neighbor out crying on his front porch. Stopped to see what his deal was. I didn't catch much through the sobs. Something about a party and he didn't go. Thought about it for a second with the invite in my hand. I threw it down at his feet and I said, you are invited by anyone to do anything. You are invited for all time. You are so needed by anyone to do anything. You are invited for all time. And it's done.
What were the inspirations behind Wood Burning Cat?
The name or the project?
First the name, then the project.
That this one time I was at the Big Apple. I was sweeping the floor, and I was remembering watching the Garfield Christmas special. And in the Garfield Christmas special, there's this one part where the grandmother picks up Garfield and says, "Now what will they think of next? I remember back when all we had was wood burning cats." And then I used to watch the Garfield Christmas special constantly as a child, like in the middle of summer. It didn't matter when. I would watch that show constantly. And I never really questioned that. As a kid, I figured that, I don't get most jokes. So, there's probably something to that I don't get. But when I was sweeping the floor, I realized I don't get that. I'm 24 years old, and I don't get that. So I looked it up on the internet, and it turns out nobody else gets it either. Nobody has any idea what Wood Burning Cat means. So I decided to incorporate that as my band name. It's an empty signifier now, so I am loading it. I'm loading it with meaning and depth.
Okay, well, thank you for coming into the studio. Thanks to Wood Burning Cat. This was Jason Unterreiner. Any final words? Okay. Thanks for tuning in.
The song was #1 in Germany for several weeks. It's called Vandalism, or the original title, Vandalism is a Social Sport. I cut it down to be edgy. You in, we bolt the door, we disregard the rules that we've broken before, cause it's acceptable through repetition, acceptable through repetition, acceptable through repetition. Cause once the glass is broken, it's not going to be fixed, so get out your aggression and smash the tiny bits and grind them all to dust, so find the can't be seen, deny his mere existence to shift the blame from me, but I confess I've broken windows everywhere. Empty frames, always let in the coldest air. Unattended damage can devalue a home, so you can say I've wrecked it, that I should leave alone. The rocks across my path, just begging to be thrown. I should learn to let them be, to not pick up the phone. I know it's you. I dial the numbers on my own, cause vandalism is a social sport, and I can do it on my own. That'll probably do, I imagine.